Alright, to find the slope between 2 points, we always think rise over run, difference in y's over difference in x's. I'm going to just make sure we all know this notation. Delta y over delta x. That means change in y over change in x. All we're doing is finding the difference between the y values and dividing by the difference between the x values. There's the slope. Next, difference between the y values, difference between the x values. Three forms of a line are slope-intercept, which is y equals mx plus b, general form, which is ax plus y equals c, and the last form that most people probably don't like looks like this. The point slope. In AP Calculus, this is the form we will be using the most, and I know that everyone loves to say, well, negative 2x plus 3, I just put a line at 3, go slope at 2 and connect it. It's really nice. I agree, but unfortunately that is not the form we will be using in here. Let me just do an example and just tell you why point slope isn't a bad way to graph. Okay, let's say we had a line like that. Well, first of all, it's x minus the x coordinate, so I know the x coordinate is 2. Okay, x coordinate's 2, so I know the point is 2, and it's plus the y coordinate, so I know the y is 3. So right away I know it contains this point, 2, 3. And here's the slope, it's 3, so I can go over 1, up 3 units to another point, connect them, and there's my line. So it's not hard to graph in point slope, and the beauty of point slope is there's a lot less simplifying, and that's what we want, because we're taking a time test. We don't want to simplify, so please be using point slope form. Talking about vertical and horizontal lines, let's start with the horizontal. The equation of a horizontal line is always just a y equals. Okay, because of course in this case y is 4, and no matter what the x is, it doesn't matter, y is always 4. Now the slope in this case is 0, and the reason it's 0 is if I pick 2 points on this line and I found the slope, the change in y is 0, but the change in x would be a number. Well, 0 divided by a number is 0. On the other hand, talking about the equation for a vertical line, we do an x equals. In this case, it's x equals negative 7. Okay, because no matter what y is, x is always negative 7. Now, for this case, if I put 2 points on here and try and find the slope between them, I can find the difference between the y's, but the difference between the x's is 0. Therefore, the slope is undefined. Finally, find the equation of a line parallel to line A that passes through the point 1, negative 2. Well, let me first of all get the slope of this line. See that it went up 3 and over 2, so the slope is 3/2. So a parallel line would have the same slope, equal slope. So I know the slope is 3/2, and I'm going to use my point slope form, x minus the x coordinate plus the y coordinate. Now of course normally we wouldn't have plus and negative 2. We'd get rid of this and just make it a minus 2. Okay. Next, a perpendicular line. Well, perpendicular line we need to do 2 things. First, we need to take our old slope and make it the opposite. Opposite meaning, in this case, negative. We change the sign. The next thing we need to do is take the reciprocal. So we had 3/2, now we have 2/3. It's still going through the same point. So there's our perpendicular line. This ends day 1.